today wanting to chat through, who we are, give you a bit of detail around some of the changes that we've done from our side in terms of our way of working, chat to you around the future of retail. Obviously, we're all here from a retail perspective, but there's some amazing stuff happening in the retail industry, and then talk to you a bit more about the Warehouse Group. So to start off, this is me. I've been here now in this role with Warehouse Group for 7 years. Had started off in retail, again, following on from the conversation we just had, getting out there, starting on the shop floor, moving around, ran an independent toy shop, and now coming back in to run the recruitment team for the warehouses, and the Warehouse Group now has been fantastic. If you don't know who we are, we're one of the Warehouse Stationery, Noel Leeming, Torpedo 7, The Market, and One Day as part of our group. So we've got about 12,000 employees. Our store support office is based in Northcote. These days, with obviously a lot of work from home stuff, we've got hybrid working as well. 98% of New Zealanders shop with us. So across the country, we try to have one store within about 30 minutes from everyone where we can. We're also the second largest online retailer to Trade Me, and that continues to grow. I mean, in terms of online, which I'll talk a bit more about, is huge at the moment. And we've got over 250 stores, 6 distribution centres. We had over 3 billion sales last year, and we raise anywhere between 4 to 5 million a year for charities, which we're super proud of. And we're the third retailer in the world to go carbon neutral, which we went in 2019. Our purpose is to help Kiwis live better every day. Our vision is to build New Zealand's most sustainable, convenient, and customer-first company. That's super important to us. So our shared values are think customer, do good, and own it. So it doesn't matter which brand you're in, what colour shirt you're wearing, what position you're in, we all want to be able to say, yep, if we put the customer front of our mind, if they come into a meeting, how's it going to go for us? But think customer, do good, and how we're going to own it to move us forward. Looking at our FY21 results, some great stuff. So 3.4 billion in sales. Some other fun facts there. So over 2 million customers visit us every week, and 3 million go on digital visits a week as well. Last financial year, we raised $4.3 million for communities, which is a little bit down to usual, but obviously given everything that has been happening. And we're doing a lot on the sustainability side of things. So 11,500 products have sustainable features within it as well, which is fantastic. Fun fact, just hot off the press as of yesterday. So we had our half-year results, and just to kind of give you again the sheer size of things that we do, and obviously a lot of other large retailers will be the same. But we've shipped over 1 million containers of stock in the last 6 months. Customers have bought $111 million worth of sustainable products, which is fantastic. We've devanned over 5,000 containers and moved more than 39 million cartons across our distribution centre. Our distribution centres are amazing. We've sold 1.2 million red bags. So thank you to everybody that's bought one. That goes straight to our charity, which is fantastic. And more than 1 million products with bilingual on it now, with Te Reo labelling going out for us as well. And we also launched our Market Club, which is you're going to see a lot more in there, but from a customer perspective, and really continuing to build that side as well. Some other fun facts, but in the last 6 months, $1,700 tons of dog food, 2.1 million plants sold, 84,000 TVs sold in the last 6 months. So as you can see, we do a lot, and we need to think quite widely as well. So at our support office, we work in an agile way of working, and it's something that we change. So our business looks at things that we've been transforming and changing over the last 7 years since I've been there, but really over the last 4 years. And a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, we started to talk more about this agile journey. And really those business aspirations of keeping the customers at the centre of everything we do, being the best place to work, fast, dynamic, better performance, working better as teams. And how do we get that? Well, actually, we're going to become agile. So this shows you, the normal structure, a very hierarchical structure. You've got departments, and people sit in those specific departments in those areas. Well, we've gone into this side. That's sort of a slide, it's like a petri dish, right? But you might have a person from finance, marketing, buying, planning, and tech all working in the same team. So you don't need to have different meetings all together. You all just collaborate and sit together with those different thinking styles. So it allows better collaboration, allows better speed to market. We test and trial quicker. It's okay to fail, but fail fast so that you're not waiting 12 months and then failing. Every 2 weeks you can catch up and keep going. It's fantastic. And I think once you've worked in an agile way of working, you just want to keep working in there. You don't want to go back to the traditional sign-offs and all the red tape. This is kind of a confusing picture, but it's to show you how it works. So each tribe, as we call it, would, I suppose, in the past have been a department, but it's not. One tribe might be looking after clothing. Another tribe will be looking after, or squads might be within their clothing. Each squad, so each little group would be looking after a certain type of clothing. So women's, men's, that kind of stuff. And then within each of those, you've got a buyer, a merchandiser, a designer, within that way of working. So your reporting lines actually happen across your craft or your skill sets, but though your delivery and your way of working together works within that tribe. So again, quite a different way of thinking. But the reason I wanted to sort of chat through this is so that you get that understanding, because a lot of different businesses are working this way as well. But it also shows that when you come in for interviews, when you're applying for jobs, it's definitely about talking more and more around agility, but that ability to multitask, to think different things, to work with different people, to manage different stakeholders, and to juggle, and to not be afraid to fail and test and trial and keep going. I know I'm talking really fast, but I do want to make sure I go through something. So the future of retail. Wow, it has been, continues to be a roller coaster. People say to me, Kim, why retail? I love it. There is this passion that you get for being in retail, FMCG, all of that fast pace. It's constantly fast paced. There's constantly things changing, and it's exciting. So, the digital transformation for retail just constantly moves. And it's been accelerated by a mile, given things with consumer behavior changes with COVID in particular. So, we've started off by doing more online with Black Fridays and Cyber Mondays, and now we've gone, well, we've all had to go online because stores were closed for a while, and what does it mean? And just getting more used to that as well. Some fun facts from an e-com perspective is that in 2021, retail e-com sales amounted to $4.9 trillion worldwide. And that's 19.6%. Now, our online growth increased by 21.2% last year. And it's expected to basically double, or 50% up over the next 4 years or so. And to be honest, I reckon it'll go higher than that, given where we are. So you can just see that from a worldwide perspective. It's fascinating. So businesses need to, diversify all your retail channels. We need to embrace things digital. Think AR, think AI, think of your customer experience all the way through a process, your streamlined operations, focus on communities, and data. So out of all of this, already you can hear the different types of roles and different types of positions that businesses are needing, but also the skill sets that you'll be able to develop and expand as you go through retail. Stores are also not the only experience. We need to think differently with customer experiences. Gone are the days where an old ad used to pop up and it used to go, $10, buy me. It's now about that experience. It's about the journeys. It's about the storytelling, but also some fun stuff like Alibaba has a new car vending machine. So you don't need to go to a car salesperson. You go in and you get a car out of a vending machine and take it for a test drive. Wouldn't have thought that would have happened. Amazon Go, you don't even need to pay. You walk in, you pick it up, and you walk out, and it knows exactly what product you've picked up, how much to charge you, and it charges you through there. Noel Leeming, so our very own Noel Leeming, we had Nola, so a digital shopping assistant as you go in. Again, the first of its kind, which we're very excited about. Other things to think about from the future of retail is, you will keep seeing pop-up stores come across. Digital and supermarkets will start to come through more as well. You know, these screens that you can see overseas and the details that you can put in there, you know, thoughts, like I'm guessing they'll do recipes and, you know, nutrition advice and all of those types of things. Digital in, you know, apparel stores, so other types of retailers where you'll be able to, as it shows on here, have a picture and change the color. Let's see what it looks like on you. Oh, they don't have my size. Oh, it's okay. Quickly order it online over here so that you're not missing out on people's, on the sales to be able to get things through. So already overseas. So waiting for it to come through here as well. And obviously virtual reality while you shop. And that is already again out there as well. I spoke to someone once who, when they were over to visit some of our, visit our Chinese office, they went into a bank, and on the way in, while they were there was literally a robot that said hi, and then they took them into another room to start showing them houses in case they wanted a new rental by using VR experiences. So again, you can think from a retail perspective how amazing that can be. From a distribution center side, you know, automation is coming. It's everywhere. We've still got a lot more to do, as does a lot of New Zealand in this space, but it is super exciting, and it's about how we can make things work better and faster through our processes as well. That top picture is actually our South Island distribution centre. Our North Island is 3 times bigger. So talking around sort of the logistics and supply chain space, you know, there's some key things. Shipping costs, oh my gosh, you know, petrol prices, let's not even go there. You know, you've got the cargo delays, you've got freight prices, all of these things that just continue to move. So since 2020, the price of sea freight from Europe has risen 400%. And then you look at cost of living, you look at all of these other things, and you do, you know, from a retail perspective, it is tough. It is tough out there. So it's things that we need to think about. Staff shortages everywhere at the moment, you know, with the cases going, with everything that's happening, you know, we're needing to keep an eye on this and keep moving forward and to keep thinking differently with who we get in. And then enhancing digital capabilities. And this basically is just saying, you know, we need to look at analytics better, technology better. You need to look at demand forecasting a lot better. And we're good at it, but we need to be better. We need to keep moving on top of things as well. And then, of course, the constant pressure in terms of environmental and governance factors and all of those types of things that come in as well. So if you're interested in positions with us, our careers website has a lot of information around the different areas and different parts to us as well. So jump in and have a look. We don't have a set graduate program as such, but we do a lot of grad level roles. We do some internships through a couple of the universities that we do work with. And we've got a couple of other things. So we've got a bike apprenticeship program for our Torpedo 7 area. And we are building some other pieces within that as well. We also work with Tupatoa and Ria Foundation as well. So really starting to push a lot more into those different areas for us. Couple of key things that we do look at. So from an agile mindset, it's not just craft. It's not just you could be the best in your world at your craft. It's about going, actually, what's that mindset? What's that delivery that you can bring? And before in the panelists, when they were chatting and everything, you know, mindset is so important these days. It's not just, are you good at Excel? It's that curiosity, it's that test and learn, it's that engagement, you know, clear communication, whether that's to candidates, customers, your stakeholders, your team. Not being afraid to put out an MVP, so your minimal viable product, and testing and learning and building it from there. Flexibility, and then obviously your craft in terms of where it is. But those attitudes and attributes, which I talk about here, is so important. So skills from a retail perspective, you know, continue to be tech savvy. Things are constantly changing, and you can't get stuck in old ways. You have to keep moving forward as well. Change resilience. I think the word change and the word resilience has been overused 1,000 times over the last 2 years. But the way I see it, it's more about that curiosity change, the ability to be able to flex with new ways, to be able to go, okay, that's not working anymore. What can we do differently? Digital smarts, knowledge of logistics and operations is obviously critical with understanding your customer from a retail perspective. Data and insights and being able to read them and understand them, not be an expert, but understand what they can mean and how some factors might change that for you. Behavioral finance. Key attributes, and this is the bit that I really want to sort of push on, that resilience, that curiosity, that growth mindset, openness, adaptability. And these things you might have, but you need to bring them out in those first interviews. Those videos that we were just talking about before, show how you can step up and show yourself from that perspective as well, because that adaptability will take you wider and being able to be open to new thinking. This is just a couple of quotes from some of our interns that we've had in the past, but we've got buying, planning. Integrated supply chain is a fantastic, very interesting piece at the moment. It sits between sort of, the operations, the stores and that distribution, and how do we actually move those products around at the moment. Digital and e-com, insights and data science is highly sought after positions at the moment. Tech, even HR, payroll people, can't find them at the moment. So it's the market at the moment is a very interesting one, but just keep developing in certain areas and push yourselves, and don't feel afraid to try different things. Very similar to a couple of people that I've mentioned before, you don't need to have certain degrees in all sorts of things. Finance, slightly different in some of those areas, but we are very open to bringing complete grads in for insights and data science, for example, and really pushing you. And we've got great learning and development programs. So coming in, developing yourselves. We've got an automation team, which is super exciting, building bots in the background. And that is pretty much it. The only other thing I was going to put on there was from a recruitment perspective, it's just the normal process that we look at. So applying, going through the interview, putting the details on the system, and then depending on the role, there may be different assessments along the way.